Do you love the sound of the thundering ocean? Well, I'm so excited to introduce my latest abstract painting, Thundering Waves. I'm going to show you a little bit about my process and how I came out with this final painting. You may have heard about a limited palette, and I used a very limited palette on this painting. The four colors that you see here are burnt sienna, Winsor blue, cerulean blue, and titanium white. These paints are Winsor & Newton acrylic paints. I also used some metallic paints, and that was by Liquitex, but I'll show you that in a minute. You'll also notice that I have an open sketchbook in front of me, and I can't stress how important that is to work out some ideas in a sketchbook first. And I did this with acrylic paint in a sketchbook that is good for multimedia. You'll see that I started here with metallic gold on a textured canvas, and I textured this ahead of time using gesso and carnival paper. Carnival paper is like tissue paper, but it is waterproof, and so it does stand up a little bit better than tissue paper would stand up, but you do have to go over it with gesso. Now you can see that I have put on this metallic gold by Liquitex, and I've done that first, and I've let it dry. After that, I've also used some metallic copper, also by Liquitex, and that has been something that I just kind of washed over it, and then you can see that I'm now kind of wiping it off too, leaving it just in the parts that are more recessed. After that dried, then I mixed some of my burnt sienna with the Winsor blue, and that, depending on how your mix goes, if you use more of the sienna or the blue, you can get kind of a blue-green color that is very lovely. After doing that, I put that on, and then I did also wipe it down a little bit. Now it was time to add some more color into different parts of the canvas. You can see I added blue in the lower parts, and I add a little bit of this sienna plus some titanium white into the mid to upper part. Really, I've just introduced some color, but there's a whole lot more that I need to do in order to develop these colors where they will be. Here's a little bit of a closer look at some of that textured area. It's not done yet, but you can see a little bit more. I've worked on developing some of my colors, and as you can tell, I've also developed my values. A good value range is important for any painting, whether it's abstract or more representational. And in order to double check that, I take a photograph and then convert it to just black and white so that I can see those values much better and make adjustments as I see they are needed. I've made my adjustments, and here is the finished painting. You can see I've deepened values and I've lightened values, and I've tried to pull it all together so that there is consistency and cohesiveness with color. This painting is painted around the sides, so there is no need for framing, but if you wanted to frame, a floater frame would be perfect. You can see a whole lot more about this painting and how you could make it at home in your home at my website, HelenCReed.com. I'll put an exact link in the information below.